You cannot let your fear hold you back from your destiny. You have to feel the fear and do it anyway, because you don't want to end up in a nursing home sitting on a bedpan wondering what would have happened if you'd only had more courage. You don't want to end up in an old folks' home and your dying thought is, I wish I had her. Because the one thing that you will never get is more time. So you don't have time to allow your fear to incarcerate you when you have the key. Reach around there, unlock the door, and step into your destiny.
What's my next move? Am I going to just complain, or am I going to just realize that I got to learn to adapt and overcome?
Because ain't nobody perfect. So who's going? I think y'all ought to just get to hoping just like I'm hoping. And when we get up to the gate, God is grading on the curve.
You combine them, you get a greater impact.
It's until you open your mind, open-mindedness creates that. We all shut down our mind. Like, for instance, when I broke the pull-up record.
Have you even asked yourself what happiness looks like, or is your personal broadcasting channel? So hell-bent on ensuring your life outlook stays the way it is that it's not even paying attention to the data. Takes and see, I believe wholeheartedly. But the first step in any facet of transformation is remembering that you have control, that things in your life that bring you down or hold you back can be changed. In fact, the very things working against you can work for you.
Like animals in the world, birds, lions, tigers, all different species of life that are not human, but yet they understand the significance of what it means to survive. Regardless of what they're going through, they still figure out how to survive, how to live, how to move, how to push. But you as a human being, you'll just sit around and complain and worry, not knowing exactly what it is to do next. Living is all you can do. Keeping faith. Being strong. Overcoming adversity.
I dare you to run past that challenge. I dare you to face adversity. I dare you to look at it and say, look, I'm more than this right now. I can handle it. I dare you to look at your obstacles like a mountain. I dare you to stop running from it. I dare you to stop throwing away food because you're scared you're going to eat it at night. I dare you to stop taking the detour because it's a crack house on the corner and it's a liquor store on the street. I dare you to stop running from your addictions. I dare you to stop running from the old you and become the man you know you can become. Mountains aren't going to move. You got to climb that bad boy, baby. You cannot get what you want in your life. You got to be uncomfortable. Comfort is failing us.
Many of you are denied your dream and your goal because you have a consistency versus an intensity problem. Consistency is when you do something. Intensity is how you do something.
And realizing that, yeah, not going to always be a good day, but it's definitely a great day. It's a great day for me to learn about what I am capable of. What am I willing to do? How am I going to push forward instead of pushing back? What's my next decision? What's my next path? What direction am I going? Because what's surrounding me doesn't necessarily mean that it's breaking me to a point where I can't function. You have to have the ability to understand that if you don't build up something, it'll never have true foundation. It will never have balance. It will never understand purpose. There won't be any purpose to it because you're too busy being what you think you ought to be instead of knowing what you need to be.
And that's why many of you, no matter what you do, no matter how much you do it, no matter who you looking at, no matter what you read, you gonna be denied because you think that just being consistent at something is gonna let you win. That earns you the right to win. That I'm being denied that corner office. I'm being denied that car. I'm being denied this quality of life. I'm being denied that opportunity, this scholarship. I keep getting cut off the team. If I just keep practicing, I just stay around this team, sooner or later I'll make it. No, you won't. No, you won't. Because consistency does not guarantee you the win. Many of you, as bad as you don't want to accept this, you're never going to win because you're not intense enough. And until you get intense to the point that nothing will get in your way, that you will not get in your way, you'll never win.
You have to be aware, you have to think about it. Now, I'm not a believer in magic, right? Don't think you sit back, say, I don't. Want to be unhappy ever again, snap your fingers and smile until the end of eternity. But I do believe that once we're aware of our manufactured shackles and our self-imposed limitation, we can start chipping away doing the 1, 2, or 3 small things, everyday tiny swings at the tree until it falls. Right? It's I'm not happy with my work. Life, well, what does a better situation look like? What bridges that gap? I'll wake up 20 minutes earlier on weekdays.
So I'm hoping that this 70 that I'm going to go to the gate with is a low A. And let me tell you something. Hey, and let me tell you something. That's all y'all got. See, you might be a better Christian than me, but you ain't perfect. So now who are you? You judge another person. So I'm going to take this 70. I'm going to see how it goes. You going up there with your 72. You go up there, you might go up there with what you think is a 90. And when they read it off, you might discover you ain't got no 9.
Everybody around me, you heard the pull-up record was 4,020 pull-ups. That's the first thing they did. Oh my God.
4,024 hours?
Yeah, there's 4,020 pull-ups in a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
The first thing I did was just closing my mind, like, oh my God, that's crazy. I went and got a pen and
how many is that every minute?
Exactly.
Every hour, every second.
Instead of taking life and making it out to be this grandiose thing, start breaking it down. Start breaking it down. And most of us, we live in a box. And we don't want to go outside that box at all. Ever. Outside that box is all these possibilities of life.
I'm going to just go and do the best I can. Love God, keep serving Him, talk about Him when I get a chance, pay my little tithes, do the best I can. But, I'm an entry-level Christian. That's all I am. If you do advanced Christianity, congratulations. I'm an entry-level Christian. I can participate there.
This is the most important part. You are taking the power back. You're taking control. And that's what feels good. That's where we get our identity. You get a little disappointed at how you've let your physique slip when you look in the mirror. Don't be sad about it. Every day, again, ask yourself what the inverse looks like and start doing small things. Subtract 1 sports drink and add 1 green smoothie. Double your water intake. Do a 10-minute daily workout on YouTube like theirs. The pieces are out there, and define yourself again.
You are now a millionaire. That's how it works. These jokes I tell, I didn't start making millions. I made $25 a night when I first started. I made $25 a night. Kept doing it over and over and over until I started $50. Now I charge $100 a night, $125 a night, $150 a night, $250 a night, $1,000, $5,000, $1,000 a night, $100,000 a night, $200,000 a night, $500,000 a night. I stood somewhere for $1 million a day. But I've been doing this 30-some years. I just keep multiplying my efforts by 10. That's how it's done. Simplify it. Quit tripping on the million. Make $10 and just keep doing it. I got a partner, he cut grass the whole time he was going. He used to charge $2 for the front and $2 for the back. He made $4.
What we do is we shackle our mind. We are a prisoner in our own mind. This is all I can do. This is all I'm good at. And we take away the possibilities of you can be this, you can be that, you can be all these things. And I never thought at 300 pounds I could be 96. Wow. So if my mind was shackled, me and you would never meet. There'd be no book. There'd be no book. There'd be nothing. So what people understand is that they live for themselves, not knowing that you have the power within yourself to change millions of lives by facing life, by facing yourself. And through that, I would die never knowing that I had the power to change millions of lives. And what haunts me the most, people ask me, what haunts you the most? What haunts me the most is that if I would have died at 300 pounds, let's say I was 75 years old, I got to heaven, and God has a chart like that of everybody's life. God knows all. Let's say that.
You're playing a movie on loop in your head that isn't right. It's just not you. And well, what movie do you want to be playing in an ideal world? Scroll through, library, find it, click play, and start doing the small things that make it real. There's so much power in progress. I've seen this unfold in different areas of my life, but particularly as a writer. As a speaker, it's like, you identify if you want to be you, start making tiny steps. Please do watch our other motivation videos on the screen now.
Let me emphasize that underlying most fear is the fear of helplessness, of being victimized, or being blown around by the winds of fate like a leaf is blown off a tree. But is that really a legitimate way of looking at things? To me, it sounds like being afraid of the dark, in which case the best thing to do is to get yourself up, out of bed, and switch on the light. After all, the people who built this country didn't feel helpless when they faced obstacles that we can hardly even imagine today. I'm not saying we should all just gather around the campfire and tell stories about George Washington, but we should realize that every generation has faced insecurities and lived with them and triumphed over them. It's only in the past 50 years or so people have come to expect a life without real tough times and real difficulties. But adversity isn't something to fear, it's something to expect, something to prepare for, and something to overcome. The truly courageous person is not immune to fear, but it plays a different role in his or her life than it does for other people. If you're a courageous person, your fears aren't about what someone might do to you or something that might happen to you. Your fears are about not living up to your ideals, about reacting instead of acting, about not taking advantage of the opportunities that are always within reach.
To not see jets and houses and Ferraris and videos when you look at me. I want you to see who I really am. Here's who I really am. I'm the son of an alcoholic who's been sober a long time. I come from a wonderful, beautiful family, but a dysfunctional family, like some of you come from. I come from lower middle class upbringing. I'm an incredibly shy and insecure person naturally. I'm the type of guy that if I saw you from high school when we were at the mall, as much as I'd love to reconnect with you, to this day, I would duck into a store and hide so we don't have that interaction. Yet I speak in front of millions of people. I know what it's like not to believe in yourself. I know what it's like to have doubt. I know what it's like to be backstage hoping you like what I talk about today, even though I've given hundreds of speeches just like this. Not the same content, but the same thing. So I tell you, when I tell you that I have respect for you, that I admire what you're trying to do with your life, I mean that sincerely. I know what it's like to want to change your life conditions. I know what it's like to want to win for your family. And I know what it's like to not be totally sure you're going to do it. And I know what it's like to fake you can't make it until you do. Let me explain to you. That's actually not a Mercedes. Let me explain something to you, okay, about what I did when I started to become an entrepreneur. I did pretty well in the beginning, and then I went broke. I did pretty well, and then I went broke. I was humbled many times. The Lord has a way of guys with big egos like me of humbling us over and over and over again until we figure out we need Him in our life if we're going to win long term. And I'm not here to preach at you. I'm just telling you what my personal story is, okay? And so I got to the point, my wife and I were so broke, not only did I lose my first home, foreclosed on, I was 6 months married. My wife had to go get a job because me as an entrepreneur, Mr. Stud here, Mr. $400 million, I couldn't even pay our bills. And the third day she had that job, she went out to the parking lot and said, babe, she came back in the morning. I was still asleep in bed and she had gotten up to go to work. She says, babe, it got worse. Our car was stolen. My family thinks I'm nuts. I had a decent job before all this. I've lost a house. Now I've lost the car stolen. Except it was worse than that. I found out 2 hours later it was not stolen. It was repossessed. A week after that, our power got turned off. A week after that, the worst thing you can have happen to you in terms of utilities happened. We got our water turned off. We went 2 months with no water. And here I am with my new bride, who I met when I was 5 years old, by the way. I promised her all our childhood I was going to make our dreams come true, and we were going to win, and we were going to live special, and I was going to be somebody. And she believed it, finally marries me, finds herself with a house foreclosed on, car repoed, power off, and now every morning we would get up because there was no running water. We couldn't cook, we couldn't shower or bathe. In the new apartment I moved her into, we would get up, gather our things, and go down to the pool, and there was a one outdoor shower there. And I'd hold a towel up as my new bride took her shower every single morning and brushed her teeth outside. And then she'd do it for me. And then we would walk back up the stairs, completely emasculated, completely shamed. And I'd send my wife out to her job as I tried to go win as an entrepreneur. So when I tell you I understand the journey and I admire and respect you, I may admire and respect you even at a level most people don't. I know what it's like to fail. And then once I started to turn it around, I wanted to win so bad, I was going to fake it till I made it. And I had a team of agents that was working with me in my practice, and everyone's ripping on me for my bad car. And I read an article in the Penny Saver. You guys remember the Penny Saver? Does it still exist? I don't even know. In the Penny Saver, and it said, Kit Car Mercedes. Kit Car Mercedes. And as I read a little further, it said, want to turn your Chrysler LeBaron into a Mercedes-Benz? I got one, $5,500. And I drove down, I met this lady, and she had a car that was a Chrysler LeBaron where they stripped the frame off the car. And they Velcroed, listen to me, they Velcroed to the car the body of a Mercedes. You think I'm kidding? I'll prove it to you in a minute. They Velcroed it. Now, the really good shitty kit cars were at least welded together. Mine was put together with Velcro. I paid her the $5,000. I rolled that car up to the office to my guys. I'm like, hey guys, we're balling. We're all going to be wealthy. What do you think of my new Mercedes? 6 of them believed it. One of them, a new Mercedes, is like, it looks a little longer, and why does it have a back seat? I'm like, well, I don't know if you've been reading. You have the little BS. It's not, I don't know if you've been reading, but Chrysler and Mercedes had just merged. This is the first hybrid car they've made. So the inside's a Chrysler, the outside's a Mercedes, but it's a Benz, man. My guy's like, oh, that sounds legit. Yeah, cool. The AC only blew out heat. I drove around. By the way, I would drive on the freeway and people would be looking at me like, laughing at me. I'm like, hey, I think they think I'm cool with my cheap suit from Men's Warehouse, right? And let me tell you about this car. Benz SL600 fiberglass full body kit for sale. You won't find one with Velcro, but you can find one welded together. Look at some of you getting ideas right now. That one, that's the LeBaron. That's my old car. That was my car. I drove that car for a year. Let me tell you what would happen when I pull up to a light. You want to know when I pull up to a stoplight? I had to really slow down like about 50 feet in advance because as I got closer and closer and closer to the light, if I had to stop short, the front headlight would fly off into the intersection. So literally probably 400 times in my life, I've gotten out of my vehicle at an intersection, walked out of the damn car, stopped traffic, grabbed my light, walked back to my damn car, and stuck it back on with Velcro and got in my vehicle. Well, everyone in the intersection is losing their damn minds. See, I was willing to do whatever it took to win as an entrepreneur. A little while after that, my best friend's a guy named Dan Charlier, African-American guy. We had a retreat up in Lodi, California. We had to drive up there, and he said, my lad, says, Eddie, there's no brothers in Lodi. I'm like, Charlier, stop with this race stuff. There's brothers in Lodi. No, dude, I'm telling you, I looked it up. There are no brothers in Lodi. And if you drive up there with me, some bad shit's going to happen. Excuse my language. I'm like, you're crazy. It's all in your head, dude. Sure enough, we go up there. I bring my team with me for a business retreat just like this. All my agents, my whole office. The meeting ends. We got to drive back to the hotel. And I don't really know the way, so we're kind of intersecting through these vineyards. All of a sudden, whoop, lights behind me. Charlie goes, I told you, dude, you're driving with a brother in Lodi. I'm like, get out of your mind, dude. We pull over, and the cop does not get out of the car for a few minutes. He's shining that light right in my car. Remember this, my whole team's parked behind me down the road watching what happens here. This is an entrepreneur's journey. We'll get into the stuff, but you need to know this. So he's shining light. All of a sudden, another car comes up, another cop car. There's 4 cop cars now. Guns are drawn. He walks up to my window and goes, stick your hands out of the car. I'm like, what did I do? He goes, stick your hands out of the car. I'm like, sir, okay. He opens the door. I get back. I get handcuffed. Charlie A gets in. Dude, I told you, brother. And we go sit back in the back of this police car. Me and him. And they won't tell me what the hell I'm doing back there, but I know my team's back there going, freaking Milet, always grabbing his nose, probably a cokehead. I always knew it, you know. He's always intense. Veins are always sticking out of his head. Finally, the police officer leans in. I said, sir, can you tell me what I'm being arrested for? He goes, I think we both know. I'm like, no, we both don't know. He goes, that's a stolen vehicle. I'm like, stolen vehicle? I said, sir, come back, come back. Finally, I'm kicking. Yeah, what? I said, you're not going to believe this. Did you run the plate? Yeah, man, it runs to a bent, stolen car. Sir, you're not going to believe this. That's actually it's a Chrysler LeBaron, sir. I'm looking right at it. It's a Mercedes, man. I said, sir, if you go up and on the driver's side door, just pull on it real hard, it'll pop right off. It's Velcroed on there. You imagine what is this a DUI now? I'm like, no, sir, I'm telling you, the car is Velcroed together. Sure enough, he gets the other guys and we're in the back seat. No one on my team, all of them still think it's a Mercedes. And he walks up to the car, and he looks at it, they're all looking at each other, and he pulls my door right off. He goes, ah! The cops are falling, spins my door on the top of his hand. The cops are falling out. My whole team sees my car is now Velcroed together, and we are eventually allowed back into the vehicle. I tell you that story because I know what it's like to fake it till you make it. Let me tell you the cool thing. I'm a closer, though. We got back to the hotel. There's a guy on my team named Rob Day. Rob goes, what the hell's up with the car? I go, look, dude, between me and you, it's one of these hybrid Mercedes things. You need to get one of these, dude. I'll sell it to you right now for what I'm into it. And he bought that car for me 2 days later. I relate to where you are. Some of you are too cool. You're like, well, I'm not like in that kind of a condition. Yes, you are. You're broke.
So he asked the Prophet Muhammad about it, and he was told, when you revert to some wherever past will be deleted completely, and you are forgiven. If one interesting point, Allah does not go back to you past, so you should not go back. Muhammad on a different note, where he entered Makkah, the victory of Makkah, and what did he tell or people of Quraysh? What you think I'm going to be committed atrocities? They had actually the Muslim, and here is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam with all the time power on that, and execute them whatever you wanted, but you can all go. You are thinking all feet there is going to be no retributions, may pieces be upon him. Told his brothers, go there is going to be no revenge against you on this particularly. He do that you all the hands of his criminals. So many people, because he knew now that we want to move forward, don't want to go backwards at times, learn to forgive and move forward. If you have budget, we will never, and we will around you. It will even affect your family relationships, whatever else your surroundings do you now what you think. And this is the reasons why we say let it go. Benefits from letting it go. Some people, they did you this, yes. I am not saying do not seek justice, but I am saying learn to move forward and don't cry. Countries where there is no justice at all, you will person suffering a smaller loss if you vulgate usurpate you of yours beginnings. Countries is so corrective that will accept breeds bribes, and they simple because they were bribed. And Allah, from a long time, Allah says very beautifully that don't go to those who are rules and whose is